Hey everyone. Welcome to Too Legit to QT, where you can
get it done with Tish.
Get it done with Tish, yes, and be on your come up with me, Quoia. We are so excited. This is our season finale. Woo, woo.
Hey, get it?
Yes. Hey, go bestie, go bestie. Hey, go bestie, go bestie. We just want to first and foremost shout out our amazing sponsors for this season.
Yes.
Kenny from Blue Lizard Bar and Grill in Charleston, South Carolina, and D'Artagnan J. Connor of Desserts in Richmond, California. We love both of you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for believing in us.
Yeah, it's sponsoring us this season.
It's sponsoring us, yes. And shout out to bestie Artisha Bear Cooper for the launch of her ebook yesterday, The Artistpreneur and Leveling Up, playing no games, guys. We don't just talk about it, but we are being about it. And I'm so proud of you, bestie. And just the ebook, it's so awesome.
Yeah, it's it was a labor of love. I did it because of you guys and the questions that you asked and what you needed out there. So I was happy to, provide my expertise. I was happy to do it for you guys. So
absolutely. And
also, guys, remember that we are giving away some prizes today. We do it every finale. And we know that you guys are out there. It's a pandemic and we just want to do something nice. So we are giving away some Starbucks cards and you can have your nice cup of coffee, whenever you go back to work or if you're at home or whatever,
Or you can give some Starbucks cards to somebody that you're trying to network with as well.
There you go.
Starbucks card.
We are also giving away my Artistpreneur book, guys, giving it away to some lucky person out there who just needs to be on their baby come up, like the bestie says.
Baby come up, although it's going to be a full-blown come up because, listen, guys, everybody that has read the book, just FYI, everybody that has read the book or that has had a consultation with Tish has said that it is super transformative, that Tish is the bomb.com. She over here changing people's lives, guys, helping them with their goals and their dreams. So do not sleep on the ebook. Get it now while it's only $20, y'all, because it's going to be like maybe 50 or 100 or something. And then, she won't be able
to. Oh my gosh.
Her, so.
You need to stop. But also, guys, we are also giving away $100 cash prize to go to your next business opportunity or charity or whatever you want to do out here for Christmas, but we are giving that away to a lucky listener today. We know a lot of people are giving away for their charities, which is why we are very, very, excited to help someone out there this holiday season. And to talk to you guys about, this is our finale, so we got to level you up for the new year. We are not going to let you stop. We are not going to let you can't stop, won't stop, okay? Out here in these streets.
So at all. Like it's go time. It's go time. 2021. I know everybody is just ready because pretty much 2020, a lot of people have said that it's just on pause, like it didn't happen. So like 2021, it's like, listen, it's go time, it's game time, but we are continuous works in progress and constant transformation. So we're just going to add on to everything that we did last year, guys. It's a process. It's a process.
But also, guys, we want to also thank the Women Funding Network for also they did an article on us for the podcast. So if you guys have been with us from the beginning of the podcast, we started this podcast in June. We were talking with a lot of people about what was going on in the country. And we started picking up some press. We had some really great people from last season. You can check them out, guys. Check them out. But I just want to say, guys, that it's very nice of them to do an article on why you should do a business with your best friend. So we weren't playing. We were trying out here in these streets, trying to figure out how to level up. We decided to do it together. So check that article out. You can check it out on my page or Darkoya's page. We'll post it into Legit to QT page. On our Instagram, it is posted there. You can check it out, okay? Why? So there's no reason why you can't level up if you got a best friend out there or a friend who is willing to have your back, okay?
Yes. And just for having more conversations too. I think sometimes, we don't talk to people and kind of let them know how they can help us. One of the number one things that I've been asking people is like, how can I help you? How can I help you in this moment, or how can I help you in the future? And then as you start to talk to people, you'll start to see your core values and if you have common interests and how you can like network with each other or collaborate and work together. So maybe it's not your best friend. It was my best friend for me, Tish, but maybe it's somebody that you went to school with or a coworker or even a family member, but definitely somebody that you trust, that you can go into business with. So keep your eyes and ears open.
Yes, guys. And also thank you all for joining us again. Just have to put it out there. Like, guys, we had a crazy, crazy good season. We had a lot of people come on to teach you how to be opportunity ready. As you know, last season was about creating your own opportunities. And we had Andy Fickman, and we had John Cry, and we had Devin Boyd on. And we had, oh my gosh,
Davon
Williams, who is just like amazing. So this season, we wanted to show people who are kind of maybe in mid-level. Like sometimes you're just at a certain point and you're like, I've been creating my own opportunities. How can I be opportunity ready? How can I level up? How can I do things that are going to actually get me somewhere and where I can see results and we can, transform, So we, this season was kind of about being opportunity ready. So we had on, amazing people, but I'll let Bestie, let's talk about some of the highlights of this season.
Well, I mean, hands down, there were so many moments, but I think the number one thing that I really love that Daryl C. Scott, who came on the show, said is he said, let your business fund your art. And he really kind of just broke down the importance of looking at various projects and saying, okay, this is a passion project. And I know that I've often found myself in that position where we have Bestie where we're like, this is a great idea. We want to do this. But tangibly, you have to ask yourself, like, is this going to get me one step closer to where I want to be? How long is it going to take from the concept stage, idea stage to actual execution? And during that process, how much money is it going to take and whatnot? Yeah. So I really just loved how he kind of broke down his process on how he looks at various films that come across, that he comes across, and how he says, okay, this right here, this is how we're going to make a lot of money off this. This is going to be great. And then he uses that money to film his passion project. So,
and also, guys, just to put that out there, just to let you know, Daryl was an assistant to David Ayer. He got the position by just being opportunity ready at the moment, asking somebody, did they need an assistant when he was on right? And from that opportunity, he had a chance to speak with David Ayer, and David Ayer bought his company. Guys, they bought his company, but he was ready. Company ready.
And not only did they buy his company, what I thought was very interesting is they bought his company, but they're his collaborators, because sometimes people, they take over the company and then what they say goes. But with them, he said that, listen, I know that with my name, I can open up certain doors for you so you can get certain projects. And he's still in charge of everything, though. I thought that was highly interesting. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just taking over and going to pick up and you can just have your cute little position here. No, like they're collaborating together. I thought that was fantastic.
So guys, we're going to show you a quick clip so that you can see from out his mouth what he had to say about creating and being opportunity ready. Check this out.
What was the thing that like constantly allowed you to like go from one role to another position, because you have some people where they'll just stay there, right? They're like, I'm an actress, I'm an actor, this is what I do. And then you have some people where maybe it piques their curiosity is just piqued, or maybe you have like some people where they're just like, they're presented an opportunity. What happened when you were just kind of involved in all aspects of production for you to like go to those different stations?
Well, originally I was told to pick a lane one way or another, and I just didn't believe that. Like I could walk and chew gum. So like there's I can do multiple things. Like I don't have to be in one box. And unfortunately in this industry they do like to put you in one box, but then you start to see these mavericks, kind of balance out and do multi things, because even like if you were looking at our big entertainers and things like that, now everybody's into producing because they see that there's a bag there, but why weren't we doing this a couple years ago? Because it's just now the knowledge is there that like, oh wait, we could actually do something else rather than just being in one specific thing. Like I and also for me it's like also with ownership and like not necessarily in a sense of power, but in the sense of being able to control the destiny that I'm gearing for, or the intentions that I'm gearing for, is really what the key is. I think, because ownership is key in this game. Yeah. So it's like, it's always, everybody wants to call it show business and all that kind of stuff, but it definitely should be called business show.
He definitely, guys. Meryl was the truth. He was the truth. I'm not gonna lie. Like he really gave us some really great advice on that episode. Check it out, guys. It's on our Too Legit to QT with Quoia and Tish page. You can also check it out on our personal pages, Quoia and Tish, Artisha Man Cooper, and Dark Quoia Connor's personal pages. We have it up, guys. So there's no reason why you can't check out that episode if you are trying to be opportunity ready. But he said some really profound things in that episode. And I want you guys to be aware that you don't have to have everything together. Right. We talked a little bit about that. Who did we talk to that about? Barbara.
Yep.
That with Barbara Barner Abel. She talked a lot about, not being perfect. So what opportunity ready means is just being presentable, having your stuff together. So when the opportunity comes, guys, out here right now, especially in this pandemic, I'm not going to tell you how many times I've had the opportunity just to talk to someone. The people that I've been able to talk to just because I'm ready to talk to them, just because I'm opportunity ready to talk to them, has been amazing. It's been amazing. I thought I would have to go through some gatekeepers to talk to these people, but people were home. I was ready. I had a conversation about them, and it has opened so many more doors for me. And I want you guys to be out there to be ready as well. We want you to be ready. And guys, also remember, comment over here so that you can win an opportunity to win $100 for you don't have to put, I know people be like last year.
Just drop us some hearts or something.
Yeah, because last season, people are like, well, I didn't know what to say. I'm like, okay, just put a heart. We love you. So make sure you put a heart in the comments, and we will add you towards our drawing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we hope that this blesses you, whoever wins. So yeah, but speaking back on, guys, we talked a little bit with Barbara, and she's a good person to bring up. And one of the things that she said to us that was really instrumental is about not wanting to be perfect, because I think people think opportunity readiness means perfection. And I'm a perfectionist. And I'm gonna be real about it. I am the type of person where I will give myself an excuse not to do something because I'm a perfectionist, right? And I have learned that my years have dragged on because of that perfectionism. That doesn't mean perfectionism and professionalism is just two different things, okay? I'm not saying don't have your stuff together. I'm not saying not to be professional. I'm not saying not to be clean, because we want clean and professional. We don't want perfectionist, right? Because perfectionist tends to be the thing that stops you from getting to where you need to be at. We want you guys to get where you want to be at, but you definitely just need to try to just put it together in a neat package. Me and Bestie just went through this with some brand stuff. We were just like, you know,
I'm still going through it. So I'm still dealing with that. So let's just talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, guys, we were talking about some brand stuff, and and I was like, Bestie, the type of stuff that you need, or this type of stuff that you want, people pay a lot of money for, like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And the samples that you're sending me, these people have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on. So you need to find something that is simple, but clearly is your voice, clearly something that you like. But at this stage, right, it doesn't need to cost you $10,000, $6,000, which is where some people they're there, they're there. So there's this thing about what I believe also as artists and entrepreneurs, not just artists. I'm not going to like, if you're an entrepreneur out there, creative entrepreneur out there, I'm not going to throw all the artists under the bus. We have a thing for perfectionism. I have a thing for perfectionism. So
I think what Barbara was saying is that the quote that she had, she said, "Nobody's showing up for my perfect. People show up for the value that you bring." And I think the problem with perfectionism is trying to be perfect, being clean, being professional. That's great. It's when your perfectionism stops you. That's where it becomes a problem and an issue, because you want to make sure that you're continuously propelling yourself forward so that you can achieve whatever success that you want to achieve. And I think that's why Barbara said that, is to remind you that it's not really about having this finished product that's perfect. It's about having a product that you're proud of, whether it's you, whether it's your talents, whether it's the new skills that you've acquired, whether it's a website or a logo or whatever. Having that completed, but you yourself, what you're bringing to the table, you're the value, you're the thing that's valued. So I think that sometimes we forget that. We get caught up in, and I have gotten caught up in the hype, y'all. I'm gonna just let you know. I started my YouTube channel. I was so caught up in my branding, and half that mess didn't even matter, honestly. And I just was like, it's me though. It's me and my experience and my platform and trying to encourage people. That's the value. And so you definitely need all those tools. You definitely need that in this virtual reality. I'm not going to sit up here and try to tell you that you don't. However, just remember what the source, who the source is and what the source is. You're the source.
Exactly. So guys, you don't have to hear it from us. You can hear it from the mouth of Barbara herself. So this clip. Hold on for this clip, guys.
So what is your mantra or like your life anthem? It could be, it's just something, whatever keeps you motivated. It could be like a song. It could be a mantra, just something you say to yourself that you have kind of used repeatedly throughout your life just to stay motivated, like your life anthem.
Oh my God. Okay. Contrarian Aquarian that I am, like I have more than one, and it can depend on the day, right? So my daily, well, really, it's like, but so my daily, honestly, would be wake, pray, slay. I mean, it's just like how I approach every day. Very simply, it's like, this is the structure. And then honestly, and it's on my website or somewhere, is I think, because it was a big thing, it took me a long time to figure this out, was that you don't have to be perfect to be amazing. And so, because nobody's showing up for my perfect. People show up for the value that I bring, right? And so,
Wait, say that again, Barbara. Repeat that. Like, we can rewind it back, Barbara. Say it again. Say it again.
Well, no one's showing up perfect. People show up for like the value and like, what do I offer? No one perfect is inward facing. It's actually shame driven, but according to Brene Brown, who, I worship. But so it's like when you're outward facing and thinking about, open hearted and what you bring, it's like you don't have to be perfect to be amazing. So that's why you don't need the perfect to actually start making an impact, to make the sale, to get the job, to create the opportunity. So it's about actually defining what success is, and success is to you, and what's a happy outcome, or all the number of different ways that we want to look at it. But nobody, and I brings up all the time in hosting, it's like I don't even know what the definition of like perfect host read would be, or perfect teleprompter reading, or a perfect interpretation of that thing. It's because there was some kind of emotional connection and it meant something to someone, and there was an exchange of energy. And that's where it's to reframe. So no one shows up for my perfect.
Wow. There you go, guys.
I feel like she needs a whole like mug or a t-shirt. I know. Well, and she and Barbara has started her own podcast. So if you are a person where you're interested in getting into hosting or anything of that nature, Barbara does a lot of casting directing for hosts. And she's starting a podcast just about being camera ready. She also works with a lot of entrepreneurs and teaching them about having a media presence and how to speak on camera and whatnot. So even if you're just a regular entrepreneur living in this virtual reality, you may want to invest in some media training. I've gone to a class. She had doctors in there, lawyers, news anchors, pop culture host. She got everybody in there. So check it out. And I gotta see what the name of her podcast is.
Yeah, and just to put this out there, guys, whether you're in front of the scenes or behind the scenes, you need to have media training. Yeah. So whether you're a director or a producer or whatever, I have a director now. He's a first-time director. We actually just got distribution for our film. Big ups to Wayne. Big ups to Wayne. Goodbye, Butterfly. And he has to do some podcasts. So it doesn't hurt to invest in media training and understand what that looks like for yourself. And that's just genuinely being you in a way to where you continually catch an audience. So as you level up out here in these streets, okay? So, that's one of the things that I enjoyed about it, is that this is not necessarily just for hosts. It's for anybody who needs media training, anybody who wants to level up. And you need, whatever you do these days, you need videos anyway. So like if you're
actually, I read an article saying that now, like in 2021, they're going to start doing video resumes. So
yeah,
it is serious. And that's for any industry because of LinkedIn and, virtual interviews and whatnot. So her podcast is called, Camera Ready and Able. So check that out. We love Barbara. That's our girl. But yeah.
And Barbara mentors a lot of people. She so she's kind of like a consultant, but also a mentor. And that's one of the things that we talked about again this season, is how to keep and maintain an industry mentor, guys. Okay, let's get real.
That shares your same core values, because every mentor isn't for everybody. Put it out there, bestie.
Yeah, but let's be real about this, guys, because I have like 3 mentors. I have a financial mentor. I can't name him because he used to own a basketball team and he wants me to keep it discreet. So I have a financial mentor. I have a industry mentor, right? And then I have just an everyday mentor, someone who just motivates me in everyday life, right? And, they all came about in a way that they all want to see me excel. Now, one of the clips that we won't be showing tonight is about a filmmaker who had Spike Lee as his mentor. Mm-hmm. Okay. Stefan Bristol. And he had Spike Lee as his mentor. And one of the things that he said is that it took him a while to get his industry mentor. It took him a while, right? It wasn't like something that was just an immediate thing. It's just that once he found his industry mentor, he just knew. He knew who that person was going to be, and that person genuinely had an interest. And
he knocked on his door. So it didn't just take him a while. He had multiple attempts. He was like aggressive with it.
Yeah, you guys, you definitely need to check out that episode, because he talked about how, and also when he found his mentor, he talked about the financial hardships that he was going through, guys. So when we're talking about leveling up as well, understand that there's a risk. There's a risk to this dream. I more recently, I wrote in my book one thing. I said, and I was looking at my book and I said, this is so true. Like, when I decided to be an artist, I knew the risks, I knew the statistics, and I knew what I was getting into, but I did it anyway, right? And so one thing about getting a mentor and finding somebody, those people have already been where you've been at, and they know where you're coming from. And we talked a lot about that with Elise Oxendine, who is a professor at Columbia University, but she also works at film festivals, guys. She works at film festivals. It was so crazy because, Bessie, I don't think I told you this, but I was on the phone with a distributor, and they was like, oh, I know Elise.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, yeah, I did a podcast, and, this young lady, Elise, she's from Columbia. Oh, I know Elise. And I was like, yeah, because she works at all these festivals with these distributors. And she also works with people who have like mentors in the industry, how to keep them, how to maintain them. Right. And she gave some really, really great instrumental advice, guys, that we're going to give you when you're looking for an industry mentor. And we're going to play this clip for you right now. Meet people, but it's not the right time.
Right.
Sometimes you may meet people and you think it's the right time, but it's not the right time. And it's just like you just build a relationship and you let people know what it is that you're doing over a period of time until it becomes the right time.
And can I add something else to that? Sorry.
Sure.
It might not be the right person. I think a lot of times when we try to connect with people, we think that that's going to be that person. Yeah. I've had the people who help me out the most in my career have people who have come from the most unexpected places. Like, it was just like white guy who was like a high up executive, and I didn't expect nothing from him, nothing. I was just like, okay, so we cool, meet casually like this. And then he was like, he's like, oh, you applied to this job? Wait, let me send an email real quick. I got an email offer within the day. Meanwhile, I was chasing, and I'll be transparent. It was like one person I thought she was going to put me on, and she was like working at Netflix, and I thought she was going to like get me in there, and she couldn't help me, but this random person was able to help me get a job. So it just might not be the right person. And one thing I always tell my students is that I never go for the person at the tippy top. Like, that's not usually my goal. Someone who's mid-career, someone who's like working, but has kind of gotten to the point where not like hustling 24/7. They kind of, their life has stabilized a little bit. Those are the best people. And you'll know it and you'll feel it like right away when you come across these people, and also social media. Like, one of my favorite, like, Twitter stories has been always with like, people, managers or agents or people who just like, you know what, I have time today. Who wants to get advice on screenwriting? Who wants advice on how to get an agent? Like, these things happen. People who are open and honest, and people who want to open up their like contacts, like, it's going to come from the most least expected places. But I wouldn't go for like, okay, no disrespect to Ava, but like, okay, if I'm in with Ava, then I'm good, I'm set. And then people who aren't good with Ava, she's not opening the doors. And that's only because, okay, that might not be the person who's going to help you. It may be someone else who's completely random who's going to be helping you. So that's just my 2 cents about that.
I just want to say, first and foremost, how refreshing and how beautiful that was to hear Elise say that. If I had have known that when I graduated from grad school, it would have been so helpful, because I just remember being in New York and meeting somebody who was at a certain level in their career. And like she said, thinking that was the person that was going to put me on, when really I should have been networking and trying to get mentorship from mid-level people who could actually who actually had time and had experience to like give me an opportunity or teach me something or whatever. I just so you know, you guys, this is like free game. And Elise is the director of industry festival and outreach at Columbia University. And so she has her hands, like her resume is like ridiculous. Like so that's what she does now. But that job was kind of like created for her because she's had experience in distribution and in all aspects of filmmaking. She worked for Netflix at one point. I think I don't want to misquote, but check out her website. She's worked for some just like very prominent like film companies and organizations. It's like ridiculous. But yes, like network with people who are mid-level. And I've been doing that myself. You know, they're the people who they're going to be at the classes with you. They're going to be at the events with you. And they're going to say like, oh, okay, yeah, I can talk to you. And sometimes it happens like indirectly too. You know, you're at that place. I mean, how many times have you been on set, Tish, or you had like lunch with somebody and then you didn't even think that person, you know, well,
and just to piggyback on that, just to say that really quickly, the reason why I met the mentors that I have is because I was dealing with people who are midpoint in their career, and they knew these people because they either worked with them or they either worked for them, and they were like, hey, let me introduce you to this person because they're doing what it is that you're saying, or I've had a conversation, or I'm going to meet them anyway. Do you want to? This is what happened to me, guys, with my mentor. I'm going to meet him for lunch. Do you want to join me? Yeah, sure, I'll join you. When I didn't even know, I'm not even lying, I didn't even know who he was going to meet. He just was like,
and I remember that day. Yeah, I remember that day. It was a random day, and you had no idea.
I had no idea.
Can I also just say this too? Like, this goes back to being opportunity ready. I spoke with some kids with my friends' nonprofit youth exposure project this past weekend. And one of the things that I told the kids is I said, you know, always stay ready for opportunities because you never know, like the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So however you show up in life, always show up because you never know when you're going to meet somebody who's going to be able to extend an opportunity to you, or you're going to be able to network. I mean, even our friend to the show, Jennifer McDougal, you know, I met her at a class and I had no idea that she was this celebrity, you know, host and hair makeup artist at all. And then now it's kind of transitioned. Like we had lunch and then here she is giving me all this game about hosting, and now she's my mentor. And like, but it's just the way that you show up in one thing in your life is the way that you should always show up, because you never know who's watching. You never know who you're going to meet. And I think that I told the kids that, and I'm going to tell you guys that too.
And I'm going to say that too, as someone who works, I work in the industry, and we all work in the industry some way, somehow. But, you know, as a producer in the industry, some of the people that I meet who I extend opportunities to are the people who are just ready. Like at some time, like, and this is what I want you guys to know. Like, if you want an opportunity, right, just know that, that if someone is giving you an opportunity for something, you're a representation of that person, right? Because it's so hard to have people hand you off to someone else and to trust that. It is hard because people are crazy, people are fans, people are crazy, you know? So just know that if you are opportunity ready, and being real, if you are opportunity ready, if you share the same belief system, not even just belief, but the same like core values. Let's talk about like just hard work, integrity. Like you're not going to try to like go crazy on the person that they are introducing you to, like a level of professionalism. You are absolutely giving yourself an opportunity to extend your network, and extending your network is what's going to get you where you need to be, which is what we're going to talk about next season. We're going to talk about next season, guys, is extending your network.
And can we also talk about, and also too, like, I think we also have to break down what an opportunity means, because sometimes opportunity can be masked in very different ways. Like, it doesn't always mean somebody's going to give you a job. Sometimes opportunity can be meeting somebody and them telling you what you need to do to get to the next step. I mean, Tish, you've even done that. You've worked and collaborated with people where they were like running like a chicken with their head cut off and going in this direction and that direction. And then they met you, however they met you, and you said you need to do A, B, and C. And they did, and that was an opportunity, because that was an opportunity that they met you and they did A, B, and C. And then that opened all these doors or allowed them to achieve whatever level of success that they needed to achieve. So I also think we have to really redefine our definition of opportunity. It's not always like, here's a job. Sometimes it is. We all got to get paid. I'm not saying that, but sometimes it's also like meeting people who can actually tell you, like, I remember The Rock said that I forget what famous Hollywood actor that he met, but he was on set for a film. I think he might have even been doing background, just something very minute. And I don't know if it was Harrison Ford or who it was, but he said that they were just sitting by Crafty, and he was like, let's have a conversation. I'm going to tell you what you need to do to be able to have longevity in this business. And he said that one conversation changed the trajectory of his career, because here this person was, and he told him the ins and the outs and exactly what he needed to do, so that when he came across various obstacles, he knew exactly what it was. So he wasn't just sitting there stuck. So I think that's really important to understand that as well.
And also, one thing about mentorship and even getting a consulting, because I consult a lot of people, but I've also been consulted by a lot of people. And I realized that I have had these thorns in my side for years. Like, there are things that, my God, it has been like, I can't figure it out. I have been trying. I've been doing what I've seen other people do, because I had no direct mentorship. And finally, there's someone that I can talk to that for that particular issue. Because sometimes, even with mentorship, I think sometimes you just need that person for that time in your life, where it's been such a thorn, and it stops me from where I'm at to where it stopped, like whatever it is, it stops me. So I need someone to just kind of help me. And you have to identify, guys, where you're at in your career. If you are not on Will Smith level, let's be real, okay? Let's be real. And what I mean that is and I'm going to go back to Daryl, right? Daryl met David Ayer. He met Will Smith. He didn't try to pretend that he was something that he was not. And he was very open and honest about what he wanted, where he was at, and what he needed. And they provided him with what? A solution. So if you want a solution, and what I found, because I just worked for Wayfair Studios, guys, and I mentored 5 filmmakers, and you'll be able to check it out if you want to look it up on Variety, the 6 Feet Apart project, and they got some really great actors in their projects and all of that great stuff. But one thing that I realized from mentoring the young filmmakers is they were also honest about who they were, what they needed, and people were willing to help. And there's this misconception that you have to be something that you're not in this industry. And I'm going to tell you to stop it. Don't do it. Be who you are, say what you need, say where you're at, and people will point you in the right direction. Now, you have jerks. There's jerks out there who would say, come back to me in 10 years or whatever. And guess what? They're going to come back to you in 10 years, because that's exactly how it always works. They'll wind up giving you a call sometime in your career when they see you excel, because at the end of the day, you were being authentic and yourself. And so I want to put that out there to the many of you who feel like you have to pretend that you have 10 years, or you went to film school and they said, pretend to be Martin Scorsese. No, be who you are, say what you need, and you'll be more than likely, you'll find the people who are willing to help you, and you'll know exactly what you're looking for. And in my book, I talk a little bit about that, about identifying where you're at, guys, so that you can get where you need to be at. Because if you're thinking you're one place and you're a completely different place, how can you tell people what you want? Tell me, how you going to ask me what you want if you don't even know where you're at, where your resources at, and how to level up, you know? So I want you guys to understand there's nothing wrong, guys. It's nothing wrong with just being who you are. And I'm this next clip that we're gonna play from Ya Moria.
Well, I was going to say that, like, it reminds me of what Yamoria said too, which is surround yourself with people who you can expand with as well. Because even with like going after these industry mentors, guys, just because they're successful does not mean that they're the mentor for you. Like, I wish I would have known that, like, when I first graduated from school, but it doesn't mean that they're for you. You know, you have to surround yourself with people, like Tish said, that your core values are the same. And like, what we mean by core values is they just believe in treating people with respect. You know, birds of a feather flock together. If you want to be with somebody who believes in demeaning people on set, which we've been on a set like that, then you go ahead. But if you want to be with people who treat people with respect on set, that's a person that you can expand with and be your full self with and grow with. That's the mentor for you. So,
and also, guys, you got to break the cycle that's in these industries, not just in the film industry, but in some of these other industries where people think that they can treat people anyway, right? You know, that's progression.
Ego.
And ego. But my mentor, my financial mentor, told me, he said, you know, there's no room for ego if you want to be success. And he has owned a whole basketball team, and he said the one thing that he regretted was having an ego. So if he's telling me that, and he's somewhat borderline billionaire, I'm just saying, I'm just telling you guys out there that, you know, don't have an ego. So, but one thing, we're going to play this next clip from Ya Moria, guys, and she's going to talk a little bit about how she became opportunity ready. But I also want you guys to know that Ya Moria always came from a place of where she was, not from a place of trying to pretend to be something that she's not. Check this out.
Let's ask this. How are you prepared when opportunities started to present itself and you had your web series?
Oh my goodness. For the longest time, I felt like I was just tripping and really like being anal and type A, but I had an EPK, you know, Tish, EPK, what else? Like I would just have everything, like my EPK, my person, you know, for the show, my own. I'd have a list of press, website. I have all these things. And for the first up until after the Newark, so up until in 2018, there wasn't a lot of, there's like press that I was getting, but it wasn't like, there's no buzz about Love My Roomie. And so minus the premiere party that we had in March of 18, but I just had stuff prepared. I just prepared as if it had already happened. I literally prepared from the website to the teasers to my bios, just prepared like I already had it, so that when it came, it was a matter of, oh, I got it on my Google Drive or Dropbox. It was a matter of sending links to people. Or if someone's like, oh, we have an opportunity. When I was at ABFF, for those that don't know, it's the American Black Film Festival in Miami in 2018. I got the first night there, second night there, I got an assistant directing and producing gig for a short film back in New York. And we were at a party. So it's just like being prepared.
Yeah, pretty much.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
But, you know, I also think, I'm a Christian, and I believe that that is the real true meaning and definition of faith. Like, faith is a substance of things hoped for, but the evidence of things not seen. And when I hear what Yamoria said, I hear a person that knows that this thing that they want is going to happen. So they're preparing themselves before that thing actually happens, as if it's already done. And I think that is the true definition of faith. If you know that you want to be this entrepreneur or content creator or actress or whatever, it's like you do everything that you can do to prepare yourself for that moment, for when you're going to get that opportunity. And don't get me wrong, that is a hard thing to do. I'm not even going to say that like it's just easy, because being self-motivated and saying like, hey, I'm going to get my website together. If you need, like, if you're creating a film, I'm going to create the film and hustle and do everything that I need. Yes, Faith, and do everything that I need to do. So that way, when it's ready to be distributed or ready to get picked up from this investor or that investor, those things are hard, guys. They're not easy. But I think that's the key. It's like having faith, and then because of your faith, your actions, they reciprocate that faith, and that's what keeps you hustling, doing the work every single day.
And just to go a little deeper about that, guys, and I've said this on an episode, and I want to bring it back just a second to like something that Moria has said, but something that I have seen constantly, whether you're in this industry or the next, is that persistence. Like I one thing that I've seen is that people who constantly are professional and persistent, there is a result. And it doesn't matter how talented a person is. It doesn't matter how smart a person is. Getting yourself in the mindset to take this ride to the end, do whatever it takes to get where you need to be at. And that doesn't mean to neglect your family or to neglect yourself or any of those things. You still need to take care of yourself, but understanding that the journey that you're going to take is not going to be an overnight journey. We talked a little bit about this season about how people just dingle like the dream in front of your face, and it is hard. I have been there. Quoia, you have been there, and one thing that I know is that you got to stick around. You got to stick around, and you got to keep at it, and you got to keep putting yourself out there, because if you do, and if you take the steps to be your authentic self, right? There is somebody out there who wants to see what you have. There is somebody out there. It's too many people on this planet for you to believe that something that you have doesn't matter. And it does. You just have to be persistent, have faith, and just stick around and keep going at it and keep exploring. One thing that is an amazing thing that we get to do as artists and entrepreneurs is to explore. We get to explore, and we get to be creative, and we get to, and I know, even with the pandemic, life is hard, but it's not going to stop you from picking up a pen. It's not going to stop you from writing something. It's not going to stop you from reaching out to people, because we're all humans. So I do want you guys to know that one person's story, like Moria, who has her own story. I've consulted y'all for many years, who has her own story. She's won all these awards, guys, for her series. Now it's on Amazon. Good for her, and I'm very proud of her, but she didn't give up. And check out her episode, because she talked about it. She said, I want to start this series. I was in school. Everybody was like, no. Like, it was so hilarious when she was talking about it. She was like, by the end of the time she was graduating, everybody was like, we're going to start our own series, So I just think that you got to really just, be authentic and believe in yourself and listen to your voice, right? Know when you need help, because sometimes, you find yourself going in circles, and then also have faith. So
also too, like, one of the most powerful things that I took away from Yamoria's story is that oftentimes, and I'll include myself in this, sometimes when you start something, and even when you see it through, you're on to like the next thing. It's like, okay, I did that, I completed that, and I'm on to the next thing. What I saw with Yamoria, which was so powerful, is that she wasn't afraid to like reboot things. Like, she said, okay, I did this, I completed it, but yet I want to do it better, or I want to reach this level with this. So let me reboot it. Let me go back to this thing and then do it and do it in an even bigger way, or whatever. I thought that was really powerful. And I took a lot away from that experience that she had, because she was working on it for 4 years, and it started off as a digital sketch. And then she said, well, I wanted to make this, and then I couldn't do that. So then I turned it into this. And then even when she created something, she rebooted it. And then even now she's like, well, I'm going to reboot it again, and I'm going to turn it into this. I was like, wow, like how many times have I started something, completed it, but then like, okay, I'm going to do something else. And nothing's wrong with that. But I really learned a lot from that too. So never be afraid to like just reboot and reinvent something. Like companies do it all the time. They like repackage something. They don't reinvent the wheel constantly. They just like repackage it.
In the same package, a different thing. Yeah. That's so interesting that you said that too. That's really interesting because I didn't even think about that, Bestie. So,
oh yeah. I had like complete epiphanies with Euphoria. And I mean, I learned a very valuable lesson. You know, I'm quick to be like, oh, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. And also, you know, I really enjoyed her being her authentic self. We talked a lot this season about authenticity too. And one thing that I learned is that whatever you're passionate about, whatever that is uniquely your voice, just keep at it, because at some point there's going to be a place for it. And that's what Melissa talked about. And guys, all these episodes naturally are on our page and are also on YouTube. People don't know we have a YouTube, but yes, we do. You can go to Darkoya Connor's YouTube or Artisha Man Cooper's YouTube, guys, and you can check out the episodes too if you're a YouTube junkie and not a Facebook junkie. So, and also you can stream us on any podcast platform. You can listen to the episodes. But one thing that Melissa was a person in the industry where they didn't even have a title for her. She was doing things that they didn't even have a title for. And what I found really interesting about that episode is that we tend to think that we have to conform into what everyone else thinks we need to be in order to move forward. But she was like, no, I knew I was passionate about this. I hadn't seen this. I knew that people were interested in it. So I kept at it until it was the right time. And she was making money from that. She was meeting people from that. And then she became the CEO of Social Impact at Viacom. Like, how amazing is that to be a CEO, to do something that you honestly have been doing for like 20 years, but there was no title for it. And that's the thing about what it is that we're trying to get out there to you guys, is creating your own opportunities, being opportunity ready, and being authentic in who you are. It's always going to get you somewhere, guys, no matter what people say, no matter how people want to say it. And I've seen it so many times where I understand that there's people that I work with, and I understand that there's people that I really like and that I will continue to work with. And I'm not saying that you can't work with people that are, just know that you work with them, let them move on. Don't try to keep them in your life or whatever. But one thing that I saw with all of the people that we worked with is that their authenticity really attracted the people who came into their lives, into their brand, into their space, and helped them to excel, So
too, like, authenticity sometimes is birthed out of either pain, isolation, or some type of uncomfortability, because it's going against the grain, it's not conforming. And Euphoria even said she was teased very brutally for being different, but she learned to embrace her nerd side. So her nerd side, her creativity, that was birthed out of some type of pain. Like even me, I was teased. I was a big girl. I was like a chunky kid, and my empathy was birthed out of that. Even my platform was birthed out of post-grad depression. Even Melissa was saying that, she was networking and whatnot, but going through those periods where you're finding out who you are and you're finding out what your authentic self is, that's not comfortable. It's being put aside, it's being separated, maybe going through pain, maybe going through isolation, maybe feeling different and uncomfortable, but something's beautiful on the other side. And your gift will make room for you, like it did for Melissa, who is, the vice president of social impact at Viacom. So, she was doing all these different jobs, and her gift made room for her. And that, like you said before, Tish, a job was created for her. And she was like, this is me.
Yeah. So guys, we're going to show you this clip and then we'll be back.
Notice is that you went from different organizations and different companies, and it seemed like you continuously elevated, whether it was in skill or just working for a bigger company. How did you prepare yourself for opportunities as they presented themselves? Because this season is all about being opportunity ready, and it seems like you were always ready for opportunity when it came.
So I never saw the smaller opportunities as small. I always came in and said, this is the expectation based on the job description, but this is what I know that I can bring to amplify the role and make it bigger and better than they could have ever imagined. And so with that, each opportunity allowed me to further my skill set, using areas where I could ask for professional development in the role, whether that was through attending workshops, conferences were major, presenting, but also being a member of the audience and learning, allowed me to just keep, piling on in order to get what the next level of my career required that I bring and know. So complacency is something that I just don't have a tolerance for. I'm always seeking opportunities to continue to learn and grow and network so that I'm prepared for the next level when the opportunity presents itself.
There you go.
Birds of gold, birds of gold.
There you go, guys.
But I think, and what she said it in a different way, but I think every successful person has said that. They say that I'm always in a place to continuously learn and grow, because even when you reach a certain level, there's still another level to achieve. And also Barbara talks about that a lot, how we live in a society where things are always moving so quickly, especially in the information age. I mean, what's relevant today is not relevant tomorrow. Right now, you have, and Jennifer talked about this, you have people who are getting jobs and putting resumes on TikTok and are getting hired. Back in the day, that would be unheard of. That would be considered unprofessional. But in this day and age, especially in the pandemic, this is how people are connecting. This is how people are absorbing information. And so, always keeping an open mind. We talk about mindset a lot, always keeping an open mind and saying hey, I have something to learn and I can grow. And I also think that keeps you humble. I think that it keeps us humble. If you're not humble, then you can't grow. And if you aren't growing, then you're stagnant, and that's the end.
Pretty much. And one thing that I want you guys to understand too is nothing wrong with you admitting that you don't know something. I'm finding that a lot of people they want to pretend that they know something, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that you just don't know. I do it all the time. I'm like, guys, I don't know. Let me try to ask somebody. Let me try to get, I start asking people. I just don't know sometimes.
But we were conditioned as kids. I've read so many books that talk about millennials and how in school, when you didn't know something, we were chastised for not knowing. And then when we get into a professional environment, it's actually better to say that you don't know, because then you grow. But we're so conditioned to, I don't want to look stupid. I want to be a teacher's pet. I want to know everything. That's just not true. So it's dispelling all of these myths and reconditioning your mind. Therapy.
And it's really, it's also very interesting about that is that when you don't know something, every decision that we make, there's a consequence to it. I have learned this myself, that even when you think that you're doing everything right, even when you think that you're doing everything to help people out or whatever, just understand whether or not, you understand something, or whether or not you're new, or whether or not it's just something that it's, you think that or someone tells you, there's always a consequence for your reaction. So by you being honest, and that consequence, sometimes I think people think, well, if it comes back to me, if the consequence comes back to me, that it doesn't matter. But no, be accountable for yourself. Be accountable for yourself. Know that you deserve better in this life, and that everything that you do is going to get you closer to where you want to be at, or it won't. One thing that I talk about in my book is doing yearly check-ins. I mean, it's something that I had just started doing, to be quite honest. And it's something that I realized that I wasn't doing. And when I started doing it, I started to see where the holes were at. I started to see what I needed to stop doing. And also, because I didn't understand when I was doing my yearly checkup last year, because I didn't understand where and what the problem was, I started talking to people. And what I realized is that there were some things that I had outgrown. I didn't even know that I had outgrown it, guys. I didn't even know I had outgrown it. But you have to be able to just identify the areas in your life where you are growing, So that's what we're here for, guys. We're going to help you. We're going to help you level up, give you opportunity, ready, network, and get where you need to be in your life.
Amen. And guys, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart that I really appreciate everybody that has taken this journey with us. If you would have told me and Tish that we would be on our second season, ending our second season by the end of 2020, I would have not believed you. But I feel like we have just been supported. We were supported to continue to keep going when we did our 3-day event on institutional racism and racism in Hollywood. We were encouraged by Umoria. We were encouraged continuously by you guys. And so I just want to say thank you. I know people say thank you a lot, but thank you, because without you guys supporting us, showing up, commenting, and your views, we wouldn't have a show.
And sponsors, we wouldn't have sponsors.
And we wouldn't have sponsors.
We wouldn't be in the Women's Funding Network.
No.
It's like a tripling effect. But what we also want to show you guys is that we're a work in progress, and we are continually upgrading ourselves. And as we are upgrading, we want you guys to see the progress that we're doing and know that what we're saying is actually yielding results. So, it's just something that I personally, and I'm sure Dr. Quoia feels as well, is that we really want to help you guys level up. Like for real, level up. Like how are you going to get a sponsor? We're going to help you. How are you going to get financing? We're going to help you.
And also too, like we've spent so much time kind of trying to figure things out because people haven't been transparent, because in this industry, people like to live behind a mask. And like Tish said, even now, still to this day, people don't want to tell you what their real financial position is, or like where they're really at in their career and X, Y, and Z. But we believe that you can help more people by being transparent, by being honest. And that's why we just keep it real with you. And for season 3, if you have a particular type of guest that you want to see that you think would be helpful, if you have a topic that you want more insight on, feel free to message us on Instagram, Facebook. You can also send an email to our company's email address. That's J as in Jaybird 1414 publishing. Leave me alone, Tish. J14 publishing at gmail.com. Just let us know, the people that we bring on, it's really to try to help you to level up, like Tish said, and to get to the next step in your career. If you want to know about nonprofits, if you want to know about LLCs, if you want to know about distribution, whatever you want to know about, let us know, and then we will try to craft and coordinate episodes that are around your needs, because this is for you. This is indirect mentorship, and we really do take a lot of time in trying to pick guests that we feel like will help you and help us.
And also, guys, check out some of our season 1 episodes, because we talk about financing and distribution and creating your own opportunities. So if there's something that we talked about that you want us to expand on in the season, let us know as well. We definitely are looking at some branding things, because we feel like in this day and age, guys, if you don't know how to brand yourself, and we are dealing with some branding things as well. So if you don't know how to brand yourself, it's going to be a huge disservice to you and to the people that you're trying to reach. So we're definitely going to touch base on more things. We did talk about branding, guys. If you haven't seen our videos on branding, check it out on our page. Jennifer McDougall came on and she talked about branding, guys. She talked about it. So if you want to hear more about branding yourself and getting yourself out there, and also looking for the right people, like I'm going to be real with you guys. When we started doing our episode, I started tagging some people, right? And they got back to me. So I just think, you know, and that was just some branding advice that I got from someone. So these are some of the things that we're going to talk about in season 3. But guys, this is the end of season 2. Woo-hoo! Yes, make sure you comment though before, guys. Make sure you comment, heart us, let us know, because we're giving away $100 and some Starbucks cards and one of my free books. My book. We're giving away my book to lucky reader out there to help you level up, get your business together, and all of that good stuff. So yeah. Make sure you comment. And thank you guys again. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to everyone.
Yes.
Stay safe.
And
also a happy 2021, guys. We're going to come back strong, and we are really going to help you guys in 2021 level up, be opportunity ready, get your networking stuff. We're going to come back with some more resources, hopefully more sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you.
Original OG.
I know. Thank you.
And D'Artagnan, thank you.
D'Artagnan desserts. Thank you.
And thank you to Jonathan, one of our executive producers. We appreciate you for keeping us on track.
Thank you, Honey Bunny. Thank you. To Jonathan.
Forget about our producer.
My husband, he's a producer of the show. So thank you to him for always having our back. And yeah, thank you guys. Oh, congratulations, you guys. Happy holidays. Thank you. Happy holidays too. Yeah, awesome. Thank you guys. So check us out in 2021. We come back. We're coming back in 2021 strong, and we'll keep you guys up to date. Check us out on our social media, Too Legit to QT. Check us out on Facebook at Too Legit to QT with Quoia and Tish. And
TikTok coming soon.
Yes. We're going to experiment with TikTok, because I don't know, girl.
We're doing TikTok when I come out there. So
yeah, we're going to experiment with that. Yeah. So
you're doing it.
Yeah. Thank you guys again. And we appreciate you. See you next year.
Bye. Bye.